All right, y'all, what's going on? Today is Wednesday. I'm off of work and I'm on my way home. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about all of this stuff that's going on. So, we had a talk at my job today because I do a lot of face on face with my job. Do I have to be face to face? I really don't necessarily have to be face to face with people. But no, when you're in property management, you do have to be face on face with folks. Um, so, like, we are getting prepared for, what they're talking about could be an epidemic or whatever. Like, I mean, it's already going around. I mean, and I'm just listening to folks pretty much talk about how America is so far behind with the testing and the quarantining that they just don't know who has what, and they're expecting for more cases to pop up. I'm hoping that when it does get warm that this thing will die down, but then look at Thailand, like they have a warmer climate and they still was dealing with cases. So yesterday, as a precaution for my household, the first thing I did was, I went to Dollar Tree because I'm like, stack up on little things could make a big difference, like cough drops. You can get a bag for like $1 instead of going to CVS and paying $5.99 or $10.99. You can get a couple of bags because this thing may not, this hopefully and pray it doesn't affect any of our families. But, I was speaking to a really good friend of mine who's in Tennessee, and she was saying that the stores were on lockdown. You couldn't get anything. Nothing was really on the shelf. She has babies, and I'm like, I told her I had cloth diapers, so I'm about to be prepared to send that to her. But it's just gotten so, like, people were sleeping when I was talking about it at first. When I told everybody to go out and get this, that, and the third, people laughed. And now the same products that was there, you can barely even get it off of Amazon, or they're charging you $200 for what used to be costing like $3-4. So I'm on my way home, and before I go home, I'm gonna pick up some waters today, at least 3 waters, because now, from my understanding, they're rationating. I don't know if that's even a word, but you can't buy bulk because they needed to go around for everybody. But I say this before everybody really gets the memo: you need to make sure you start stacking up on canned goods. I was telling my coworker this, like, look, stack up on this, that, and the third, because if it hits the ceiling fan, you have things in your home that you can, use, because God forbid if people start getting sick and they can't go somewhere and get like a cough drop, just to relieve just a little bit of it. You're going to wish that instead of you paying $2 for that burger or that purse, you would have just went to the store and got you some things. And there was a huge thing where people were saying like it was a shortage, with not shortage, but people were going and they were buying out toilet tissue, because you're going to need toilet tissue. But I say this, like I said in my last videos, to make sure y'all go get your garlic, your okra, and your ginger. I believe that this woman had a dream from the Lord, and she shared what those 3 things were. And I went out and I got those things, and I shared it with my coworkers. They laugh about it, but they went out and got it. They laugh, but they like, oh, I'm gonna just put this just in case, because you got to be wise on what's going on here. The thing that really kind of worries you is because you got, like, for instance, my friend, she's a stay-at-home mom, so she's with her babies all day while her husband is going out there, and he's facing front line with people who've contracted this, or know some folks that had to quarantine themselves. And if her husband gets sick, then it's a burden, because she's a mother with their children. Youngest is like 2. And me, I'm like the head of my household. So I'm going out here, and in a nutshell, it's like, we had to have a conversation today about hand sanitizer. But when that's not all, and now they're saying that I can refuse to see someone if they look like they're sick. Now, back in the day, that would have been a fair housing, but this is a whole different game, because now they're saying if you are sick, don't even give an excuse. Just don't even come to work. I'm like, well, daggone it. And with most of us, we just don't have the option. Like, I don't have the option to say, oh, I'm staying home. At least I don't have it right now. Like, I don't got the millions in the bank right now to make those shots. Like, I got to get up. I got to push through, and I have to provide for my family. I got to provide for my family. And it's not even just that, because you never know if family members or somebody along gets not feeling good, to make sure that you got something. And so that's why I was saying, like, you may, if you feel like when you go to CVS or certain places like that and it's too high, hit up the Dollar Tree. They got the same ingredients and that the generic one. This is just to prepare. You should always never say, I don't care if that's happening. I'm just going to sit here and fill my thumbs. I was telling people about this before. And so, it's just one of those things. But on the bright side, well, the bad side for those who are losing out on stocks, because you got a lot of people, their 401ks just walked up, just grew legs, and just not even grew legs, it grew wings and flew up out the window. People are being hit by their hard-earned money that they put up in the stock market, and it's just going up, down, up, down, up, down. And I already said that the daggone interest rates are going down. I believe it's going to go to a 0. So much so that I got on the phone with my lender and was like, get me, let's do this. And so he tried to give me a 4, and I was like, no, it's going to go lower than that. So the lowest was a 3.1, but I know it's going to go even lower than that. But that's shaving almost over $300 off of a payment. So I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I'm thanking the Lord for that. I'm just praying that, and it's just being really honest with you guys, that I'm, be able to go back and forth to work and be able to pay and put food on the table. You know what I'm saying? So the smart thing for me to do right now, because when I tried to go to the grocery store the other day, like the big jugs, they were gone. I'm gonna go to the grocery store, get me at least 3 waters, like every single day when I go home, just keep picking up waters. Hopefully nothing comes from it. But if anything goes down, then I know that we're going to be good for a minute, And so there are a lot of concerts that are being canceled. Certain flights are canceled. They're even talking about schools, canceling schools, spring breaks. They're telling folks don't even come back. This is starting to hit, and it's starting a ripple effect too, because if somebody's not working, then they're not going out to spend. And if they're not going out and spending, then it's affecting the businesses out here. You see what I'm saying? So we got to pay attention and don't think like, because some people like, what are y'all talking about? I'm like, you really haven't been paying attention. What do you mean? What do you mean? So you're saying it's here now? You really haven't been paying attention. The only thing I just thank the Lord that it's not a lot of children that has been contracting it, and if they have, there haven't been really any fatalities with any of the children. So I thank God for that. It's just that when we had this discussion today, I was talking to some clientels, and I noticed that they up here coughing. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Me and my co-worker was joking, but I'm like, hold up. We was just saying like we can refuse, and I'm like, y'all both over here holding in coughs and sniffs, and I'm like, oh, Jesus help us. But I will say this, that interest rates are low. This is a good time to, if you were thinking about buying a house, do it. But I will also say this too, that they're going to drop even more lower. However, now they're sitting up here and they're saying that, because their interest rates are dropping, they're going to start increasing the values on the houses, which is going to be pretty interesting. But it's giving people more opportunities, especially with the lenders and the realtors. I mean, they're like, I've been hearing realtor after realtor, and I am a realtor. I'm just inactive. But they're just like, we've never seen numbers like this before. And I'm like, dang, if I was active right now, I'll get in on this action too. They were like, we've never seen numbers like this. And the whole time that I've been in the business, I'm like, yeah. And they're going to go even lower. I think they're going to go to the low twos. To be honest with you, I think they're going to hit a 0. I can imagine if my interest rate went to a 0, that would shave like $900 off of my mortgage payment. You would, yeah, this is what's going on right now. I said, and I was, a lot of people was talking about the stock market, and I'm like, I don't mean no harm. But China is very big, and just about everything that we have over here, when you look on the back of it, made in China. This is what happened when you depend on someone else and you don't produce your own things. The gloves, this, that, and the third, made in China. Now the ones made in the USA, now they're getting to work. And this is a lesson, this is a huge lesson to be learned from a lot of people. People pulling out of the stocks too. They're cashing in like, forget this. People become millionaires, becoming basically poor overnight. But again, I'm also seeing the opportunity on the other end, because I am grateful that I'm in the process of refinancing, so I'm really grateful for that. And I'm grateful too that my house didn't lose any value. It actually gained $30,000, so that's even better. But it's like, I want to be able to enjoy my home and be comfortable when I come home, not feeling like, is somebody going to walk through those doors coughing and sneezing all over the daggone place? And so what I have been doing is literally go to work, go home. Even on my days off, and this is another thing too that I did. I made sure to prepare. Right now, if you have dental insurance or whatever, you need to go get your teeth and everything looked at. I made sure that my daughter had an appointment. One of my good friends they told me that all of the dentist offices are booked. Some of them are even closed. They're not taking on new patients, and she just got a wisdom tooth in the back that chipped. And I'm like, oh, you got to get that looked at, because infections and things happen, and you don't have time for that as a mother. So I made sure that my daughter, because I thought it would look like a cavity, and thank you Jesus, when we went to the dentist was like, no mom, that's not a cavity. I'm like, oh, thank you Lord. But I made sure that my daughter, we went to the dentist and she got all her checkups done, because if anything happens, then we're good for a minute. It's just preparing yourself, and it's not to be in fear. It's just that this is not the time to just be doing whatever you want, and then when you look up, you have nothing. You have no stash, nothing at all, knocking on somebody's door asking for stuff when you had the time to do it. Don't ignore something when people are putting it out there, saying, oh, this will never happen. Because see, we live in a country where we spoiled. We are very spoiled. We order things online. We don't even like to wait. We get Amazon Prime. My package will be here tomorrow, and I ordered it 20 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? We don't like to wait for anything. So when we look at everything that's going on in somebody else's country, we sitting there eating. That looks really bad. It's a good thing we not going through it until it comes over here, and you're like, hold up. You don't know how to. You don't know nothing about no survival skills. Nobody taught you that you're supposed to save and stash this up for a rainy day. Get you some flashlights, some candles. Nobody taught you these things. And when you tell people that you go to the store, what you mean? What you mean you didn't go to the store to go? What did you do? So it's just one of those things where you just gotta pay attention. Don't get into, and remember that God is with us. But it's better to be prepared than not prepared. You see what I'm saying? It's better to try to, because I went to the Dollar Tree yesterday. Like I said, I got NyQuil, like the off-brand Dayquil, the off-brand whatevers. And y'all know I got my 3 things from that woman's dream. And I just got cold medicines. I got cough drops, and just making, because the first thing, when you dealing with a cold, you could be congested. So it's little things like that can make a difference. Got the Lysol before everything went crazy, before they started like putting crazy tags on it. But before everybody start rushing to, you see that people still don't got the memo. They still didn't get the memo. I know when I went to the Dollar Tree yesterday, some of the shelves look empty. I'm saying, okay, people starting to pay attention. When the shelves the shelves are really vacant, you're going to realize you late. Everybody going to be like, where you been at? My cousin, she said she's been to the grocery store. She said she don't think she's ever been to the grocery store so many times, because when you have a child, when you have a family that you're taking care of, it's not about you. It's not just about, well, I got me a couple of things in my purse. No, you're going to make sure that your children are okay. And it's not about you. I'm too afraid to go to work because I got a baby I got to take care of. Some of us, we're not going to jump ship and vacate and leave and abandon folks. No, we got families we got to take care of. We're going in with a prayer. Father, please protect me in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, give us the cure. Show me what to do, what not to do. And so extra precaution of learning how to boost your immune system, because it's not like this is just a straight death thing. Like anyone who gets it, they die. You just have to boost your immune system up. And we already said, the lady in her dream that God had showed her and gave her those 3 things. And it was okra, ginger, and garlic. And I say that's the main thing you need to run and get just in case. But if you haven't been to the grocery store, you need to go. If you feel like when I go to, CVS or other places, this type of stuff seems too high, you better hit up the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. Same ingredients. Grab them. Grab it while you can before they start doing, nope, you can only get one. Y'all better get smart out here. Let's see how many people headed to the grocery store, because I'm about to go up in there and give me a couple of jugs. See, I don't want to look hot and grab 10 of them, so I'm just going to grab 3 today, come back tomorrow, grab another 3, stack them up. And if push come to shove, we just going to have to go old school, because I do have a refrigerator where you can put your cup there and the water will come out, and it has a filter. I will boil me some water and pray over it. But now it is so serious now that when nobody wanted to have a discussion, now this is the discussion. Now everybody's on conference. All hands are on deck. People that work for the government are told to stay home. You got a computer, we pay you well. Hook up to the internet and keep on working. And I'm like, well, daggone it, we need to do that. I'm like, you know what, maybe that's what we need to be doing. But see, my job is a face-on-face person. Not every single person's job is behind a computer. So in the times like this, I'm just like, what you could do is you could stack, and pay, and try to pay your rent or your mortgage in advance. This ain't the time to go in debt. This is not the time. You got to ask yourself what's important here. Those shoes or this can of soup? What's important here? But yeah, so everybody's going crazy. What's that guy named? It's not Kramer. What's that guy named? The stock market guy who talks all. He knows everything. His face looked real tight, like he looked like he was just holding his breath. And now they're meeting with, the big boys to see what can we do to just dump money into this issue, to this big old hole, this sinkhole. And at the same time, on the other end, it's great opportunities for people that wanted to get in the market, and now they're just buying up everything that they can. I see both ends of it. I'm just hoping and praying that it just doesn't spread anymore, and that this thing won't spread. My thing is that I don't want to contract it, and I don't want to bring it home. And I say to myself, this is the time where families really need to stick together. This is the time when you really need to say, you know what, this is what we're going to do. Especially, because let me tell you something. Like I said, God has a cure of everything. But Jesus talked about when the times are coming, woe to the woman with child. That to me translates, it's going to be hard for somebody with children. So just make sure y'all prayed up and ask God for wisdom and how you can prepare your household. You know what I'm saying? What can you do to, make sure, because when you look at it like this, especially, when we saw the way China was going down with the daggone doctors dying, and they seem to have been getting things a little under control. But see, China they like to lie a lot about their numbers. They don't like the whole world to know, with what's going on with them. So you can't really believe everything they saying. But I start to think about these students who went to school. I'm talking about here in the U.S. And they ended up getting all of this debt to become a doctor. And once the one guy said he made it all the way up, and when he went to take his final exam, he didn't pass it. So he owes almost $1 million. So what you gonna do when all of the so-called doctors who have all of these degrees, when they get sick, or if something bad happens to them when they pass away, I bet you're gonna be calling them interns in now, right? Them students in now, right? I bet you're gonna do a debt forgiveness real quick, ain't you? This is called all hands on deck. What's the name of that movie? Have y'all ever seen that movie called The Final Hour? That movie is I think that's one of the best movies I've ever seen. And it was a true movie, a true story. They on this huge ship, and the daggone ship breaks in half, and they didn't even realize it. They was trying to get off that ship, but there was no way to get off. They couldn't even get off on the lifeboat, and the guy who was the next in charge, because the captain went down on the other half of the ship. All hands was on deck. Every single man had to try to get this ship on a certain area where there was land so they can get some help, because that ship was going to sink. This is called all hands on deck. Everybody need to be praying, asking God to stop this thing. Don't say, oh, I'm going to pray, and you on your cell phone the whole daggone time. You ain't said not one prayer, and you promised you was going to pray 2 weeks ago. All hands on deck. Because you may say, we're going to the doctors, and you go to the doctors and see that the doctor need to go to the doctor. That's when you're going to have to learn real quick how to become a doctor, and how to call and pray and call on the Lord. Because that's the real doctor, the real healer. I'm just saying, y'all, just get y'all house in order, because I'm looking at this thing and I'm just like, I try not to, but it's affecting people's homes now. It's affecting people the way they live. Now they don't want you to know, you can't, if it's more than 1,000 people, break it up. We can't have no concerts here. That's being shut down. Quarantining folks, calling things a floating petri dish. And I'm gonna tell you something too. I really believe some of that stuff was purposely done, especially for those people who went on those cruises. These people just wanted to see how quick this thing was going to spread. So you just got to be very wise in what you're doing right now, and literally, just ask God, how do you approach something like this? What can you do when you have children? You know what I mean? I used to shake everybody's hand when I would greet them. Now I'll be like, would you like some coffee? Pointing them. But I keep my hands to myself now, because you just don't know. But like I said, it's airborne. It's airborne. I believe it's airborne. I was just looking at an article today. One attorney on this, a daggone attorney, he spread to 50 people. 50 people. Somebody rode in the same car. This thing is airborne. Reminds me of a daggone movie called Outbreak. But people aren't dying like how gruesomely they were in that movie. But anyway, this too shall pass. I'm just praying that it doesn't have an impact on our families, because the way I'm looking at it is that both of my parents are over the age of 60, and I do have a toddler, and I am the one that's working, so I cannot get sick. And so I'm making sure that I work out, and and that I don't go in places where and it could be anywhere. So you can't even, you can just go to the front desk and then somebody, you just never know. I'm just praying that it does not affect my family. I'm asking God and just show us what to do. I know I got my 3 things. I told y'all about y'all 3 things, but I'm also paying attention to the stock market too. I'm paying attention to how quick it's going. First it started off with 1. Now they're talking about in the US it's over 1,000 cases. Now if China went ahead and shut down entire cities with 11 million people and more, and then we got over there what's the name, folks? I think they said 9 million people. And these people are supposed to be advanced, and what they're dealing with right now, they haven't even started. They're saying that we don't have enough testing kits here. This is not to put anyone in fear, but it's just to prepare, because I've been saying this lately to people. Did you go get, what you talking about? Huh? I don't know. And it kind of, I kind of get pissed because I'm like, y'all not paying attention. I told you to go get something, and instead you went and got your nails done. It's like when you be warning people about, their sins, like, man, you can die and go to hell, and they don't be paying attention until they go there. Person gonna go to the store. I tried to go to the store, but there was no water, you think? Well, do you have, look, I'm gonna have to give you, I'm gonna have to hit you up like those virgins that had their lamps filled with oil. Nah, because if we give you some, we're not gonna have enough. You better go get your stuff while you can. I'm all for giving and sharing, but daggone it, my house ain't going down because you decided to be ignorant and play these games and didn't see that this storm is right here. It's not even like gone. It's like right here. I don't know, y'all. I just wanted to share that. Stock market. So, I think we're going to see the lows. I mean, now they don't even know what's going on. People are predicting it's a crash. They're like, it's going to gain, it's going to, when everybody get back on their feet, when they come up with some type of thing, when everybody's not being hit with it, when it's not going to affect the job sector, because China, when they shut everything down, that caused a ripple effect. And even when they tried to dump money in, that still wasn't good enough. I'm going to tell you something. Isn't that amazing? Everybody was talking about war and rumors of war. Everything got shut down. Everybody's allies trying to fight on this thing. Just like I saw that guy who did his documentary, getting his family out of China and heading back home to the USA. A lot of people was like, you shouldn't have did it. I said, now that's a good man right there. That's a good husband and a good family man. He said, we got to go. But I paid attention to all of that before they even started to do the major lockdowns and everything like that. And so we're going to see how they're going to carry it in the USA, because now they're, here in Maryland, they're talking about a state of emergency because a couple of folks came down with it. A lot of people are traveling, a lot of them in their 50s, 70s. They even said some students contracted it. I mean, it's crazy. Some in Tennessee, I think Tennessee got 19 folks. The numbers are growing. I lost count, to be honest with you. But New York, New York. New York, just as crowded as that place is. Y'all better go and get your stuff. That's all I gotta say. And I hope it doesn't get to the point where it's just it's bad, because I've listened to people dreams about this virus, and some of the dreams that I listened to, they were not good at all. They were really, really bad. And this is not to put any fear in anyone, but daggone it, like, if you are mistaken if you think that what has happened overseas can't happen here. You are mistaken if you think that you're not allowed to get certain things because you're so used to it. See, we're so used to just buying and ordering things and walking in a place and getting 20 bags or something that we wouldn't know how to deal with it when the doors are closed. So before it starts, before the panic and everybody start acting crazy, I'm just saying this as a sister in Christ, y'all need to make sure that y'all go and get some things for your household. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, it's just me. If you got an older mother, a father, some nieces and nephews, and your family may need some help, you still need to go and just stack up just in case. You get what I'm saying? Sorry, you guys. Park right here. So I just pulled at the grocery store, and that's exactly what I plan to do. I'm gonna give me some water up in here, give me some canned goods real quick. It's a lot of things that I saw that were missing, like bleach products and stuff. Just make sure y'all do it, like, cause do it now that nobody is really like in a rush to go to the grocery store. See, like right now, there's no line out here. There's no line out the door. So this is perfect. That means that I can still go in and there's things that's still available. Go and do it now. You gotta, like, I'm seriously like, okay, I'm just gonna have to look at what Joseph did. He knew how to harbor, and he knew how to work the land. So when that famine came, he just told the king what to do and how to store up all of this food, because they knew for another 7 years they was going to be dealing with some famine. Also, too, before I get off of here, I had a dream, and I cannot remember too much of this dream, but I know that Jesus was in the dream. And in the dream, I was shown that Jesus had something to do with something happened in 1985. There was something. Look, this lady got all of these waters. Let me hurry up and get on out of here. Something happened in 1985. I don't know what it was, but I was trying to read it on the newspaper. It was like a little article. And I knew that I needed to focus in, because if I didn't, then I was going to forget. While I was trying to focus in on the newspaper, the letters started to disappear. And the only thing I could remember was, I beseech you. And it's a lot of scriptures in the Bible that start off with, I beseech you. And meaning I want to, I mean, it's a whole lot. But I know that it was something that I was not supposed to remember when I woke up. But more so, when I was trying to wake up, I actually felt like my spirit was trying to leave my body. I've never had a dream like this before. That I almost had a hard time trying to wake up. But I do remember a part of this dream was that someone went to hell, but this person who went to hell was somebody back then, like way back in the day. And this is my dream, there was a dragon, and the dragon pounded him, but I knew that he was going to be feeling this over and over and over again, being tortured over and over again, that particular person. But all I know, in the dream, I remember that part. I remember Jesus, and I remember something that happened in 1985. I don't know what happened. I was born in 1982. But something had happened in 1985. And I know that the only thing I remember in that particular article was "I beseech you," something like that. But I was trying to make out everything else, but I could not. I knew that it was only a matter of time before I would forget, and the words were literally disappearing before my eyes. And I was trying to wake up, and I felt like my spirit was leaving my body, but I ended up waking up out of that dream. That was one of the dreams that I was just like, wow, something is happening. No man knows the day or the hour when the Lord is coming. And whatever that article was, I was trying my best. I was trying my best to focus in on it and read it before I forget it. And it just started, the word started to disappear. The word started to disappear. But anyway, y'all, let me get up in this grocery store. If you know what I know, you need to be putting on your coat too and headed to the grocery store right now and stack up on some things. Because when they announce that it's quarantine time and things are being shut down and you're not allowed to come out and only, you know what I'm saying? Because they're already going into that direction and they don't want to put fear right now because they know everybody and their mother going to run to the grocery store. So I'm going to tell you right now is you need to be wise. Wise as doves. You better get out there really quick and get do what you got to do and stack up just in case. Anyway, y'all, I'll speak to y'all later.